Never stake more than you can afford to lose. One of the cardinal rules of gambling, and one which Valen Quinol was utterly breaking in a casual game at a highwayside inn. This was the sort of place that people stopped at to get out of an unforeseen rainstorm. A converted stone stable with a useless fireplace, oil paper windows which threatened to light on fire every time a candle came near, and a rickety stack of cots which served mainly as a breeding ground for the type of biting insects usually associated with livestock. This was a little extra cash for some mangy shepherd, not a place to lose your fortune. Yet the stakes had risen remarkably quickly. Now Valen had to play his way out of it. One of Valen's opponents flicked his fan of cards with a fingernail, each tap accompanied by a jingle of silver from his coat buttons. This gentleman was the source of the unusually large pile of coins in the center of the table. Not a very good player, but he had pockets deep enough to push the rest of the table around. A few hours prior, this man had burst into the inn, spectacles fogged and color high in his cheeks, demanding a dry place by the fire for his rifle. Out for a day's hunting, apparently, and the success he hadn't found in chasing grey foxes across the landscape he planned on finding at the clip stable. He seemed indifferent to the persistent barks and howls of the dogs he had left outside in the rain. A cold vanity. That was the hunter's weakness, one which Valen had spent the night exploiting. "While we're young," the hunter chided, looking pointedly over the tops of his glasses at the player to his left, a quiet woman of 30 or so, with skin a sickly white tinged with blue. It was plain she was trying to hide her foreign appearance with a high-collared riding coat and a tricorn. Drops of rainwater would occasionally fall from the point of her hat, much to Valen's annoyance. The deck was his, after all. He would prefer the cards not be soiled. The woman played her turn without acknowledging the hunter's remark, placing her 7 of coins face up beside Valen's 6 on the weathered shard of barn door that served as the table in this establishment. Oh, to every hell. Valen tossed his knave of keys on the discard, useless. He grimaced at the man to his right, a slim-shouldered fellow in his late 20s who looked as if he had just walked in from the fields. He wore no wig on his stubble-shorn head and did not even wear a neckcloth. "And you, monsieur? I don't suppose you have the 8. The man frowned around the whalebone toothpick he had been chewing at through the entire game. "Not me. You 3 figure it out." He rose without another word, prompting the other players to stand and bow, then walked out into the pounding rain without so much as a jacket. A jingle of silver as the hunter sat again and played a well-timed 6. "Leaving mid-hand. No way for a gentilhomme to behave." The woman in the tricorn laid down the 5 of coins silently. A perfect play, and the win of the hand. Valen clapped his hands and smiled at her. "Wonderful play, mademoiselle. Just wonderful. And now I fear I must be heading off as well. Got a cron left to play with, and I've no patience for just watching." The hunter nodded politely, but his eyes were on the cards. "Thank you for the diversion, monsieur. Now we will see if I can win some of my inheritance back from this charming lady. You don't mind leaving the deck, do you? I neglected to bring one, and I can't imagine this place as anything so refined." "Of course," he replied. "It is a small matter, after all. Perhaps you can leave it here when you're done. Donate it for the hospitality of future wayfarers. The gods know there is naught else to do in this hovel." It was not, in fact, a small matter.